Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the slight delay. So the topic of today is budgets and budgets in the Philippines, and being single and being married or having a live-in girlfriend. First of all, I want to just do a quick mic check. So if somebody could confirm that they can hear me and see me properly, I can actually check it myself, just make sure. Let's see. No, I don't see it. Test. Yeah, it's working. Okay, great. So I know you guys have seen me do some budget videos before, and what are the costs of having a live-in girlfriend versus being single. And currently I'm spending about $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and I think if you are alone, it's probably going to be, I'd say, $300 to $500 cheaper. But what are you guys' thoughts on that? Wait, can you guys hang on one second, babe? I gotta put on the aircon. It's kind of hot in here. Hold on a second, guys. You put on the aircon. So let's start with some comments here. Paul hates us from Keith for being late. Thanks a lot. Good morning. Mike is good. Thank you. Loud and clear. Great. So guys, open for comments here. Thanks. That's my first sip of coffee to wake me up here. Spending for food. I think when you talk about food, I'm not including restaurants and all that. I think we spend probably $300 to $500, and that's not including restaurants. So including eating out, let me think here. Yeah, I'd say 300 for food, and then maybe another couple of hundred for eating out. So 500. My total budget is about 1,500, or maybe it varies from month to month, but I would say, yeah, say $400 to $800 probably. So eating out in restaurants and coffee and everything. So, sorry, I didn't click on the comment here. I'm a bit slow this morning. I kind of had a late night. So yeah, that's what we spend. Now, did I give up my house in Dumaguete? Yes, my last month was for rent was April. Yeah, it's a nice house, but I actually prefer the living here in the condo for now. It's just more convenient. Thanks, Paul. How stable and expensive is your internet there? I'm looking at moving there, but do you video conference for work? So stable net is an absolute must. It's very stable. Yes, it's very, very stable. I watched at night. I watch 4K Netflix, and I've measured it several times a day. It's always 30. I think there was one time it slowed down, and I don't know, I reset the router and everything was back to normal. So unlike Dumaguete, where it was very unstable, and there I had the same package, just a different provider, PLTD, but it varied from morning to evening there in Dumaguete. Here, it's constantly 30 to 35. So download and about, it's varied from about 26, 27 to about 35 upload. So Sean says, if you want to live with your partner, money shouldn't matter. Well, about yes and no. It depends on your budget and depends on your income and depends on a variety of things. But budget does matter. Money does matter. So, okay, back. Not sure what that means, Jim. What is your biggest expense then with having live in GF? Food, doing things, or clothes? It varies from month to month. I would say if you have a living girlfriend, you're going to have a lot of medical expenses. You can't have medical expenses because typically here they don't really do dentists. And then when you live with a foreigner, you know, you take them to the dentist, obviously, and you discover stuff about your teeth that needs to be done and you do it. So there's that expenses. But typically from month to month, I would say probably the restaurants, eating out and all that is the most expensive. Food here, like eating in, is not that much more expensive because Filipinos, they're good at making food and making things last and all that, and they eat a lot of rice. So it's not really that expensive. So it's the eating out, and of course, some months it will be the medical. Trump is back watching your channel. Good for him. Wait a second here. Did you give your GF an allowance of $200 a month would be equivalent to full-time work there? Yeah, I don't give an allowance or anything like that. If she needs something, we get it, but there's no like allowance or anything. And Mia is earning money now, so she's giving me an allowance. A joke. But yeah. But $200, about $300 is what people make here a month. Maybe 200, 250 after taxes and everything. So yeah, that's equivalent to about a month's pay. Thanks, Paul. And are water and power outages a problem at the new condo? Does yours have the backup generator? That's from Scott. Never had a power outage, never had a water outage, and it does have a backup generator, yes. So I've been here over a month now and never had an issue. And meanwhile, while I've been here in Dumaguete, they've had, I believe, 4 to 6 planned brownouts and a bunch of unplanned brownouts. So you could say it's a lot better here. Secret Angel says, as promised, thanks for introducing YLP. Okay. Thanks for that, Secret Agent. It's very nice of you. 97420 Empire is just myself. I do not waste too much money on myself for extras. If I'm in a relationship, I'm a bit more free with my money because then I like to go out and have more fun. I don't know. I see the people who are single here, they're out all the time. So I don't know if that's valid or not. I think it depends on you as a person and the type of relationship you have. I mean, some people like to stay home, read, and others like to go out and venture. So it really depends on you. How much does Mia contribute towards the rent? Well, right now, nothing, but in the future, she'll contribute a bit because she has her own YouTube channel, so she's making. So basically what she's making is going to mostly go to our expenses, and then some of it is going to go to her family. So that's the way we plan it. How expensive is gas there compared to where you lived in the US? Gas here is about $1 a liter, and there's 3.75 liters in a gallon. So that's about 3.75 roughly $4 a gallon, and in the US, of course, it varies from time to time. But what was it, about $2.50? So almost double. However, two things. One is, for the most part, when I lived in the US, I had a company vehicle and they paid for the gas. The other thing is, I drive a scooter here, and it's so cheap. I mean, I fill it twice a week for $6 total, and that's what I use in a week, $6. So I mean, the scooter here costs nothing, and even the Ninja barely uses gas. So yes, Scott, I have fiber internet. That's correct. I do not go to bars or clubs, so that is not a money sling for me. Well, right now, most bars and clubs are closed, so you can't really go even if you wanted to. But yeah, there are people who go here to, I mean, I know people who go to bars, 4 or 5 times a week. And I mean, even though beer is cheap here, I mean, you can get a beer for what is $1, $1.50 at the bar. It adds up. But yeah, I don't go to the bars, but I do spend quite a bit on coffee. So there's that. Teacher Thomas Thailand says, "Hey Paul, good to catch you live. Hope all is well. Peace and love from Thailand." How is Thailand these days? I heard they're starting to shut down everything again. So let us know, man. Dan says, when an expat meets a Filipina on the street and she agrees to go out with him, have you ever had a problem with a jealous Filipino boyfriend she didn't mention? Not me. No, I haven't had that happen to me. I, I don't think that happens that much, really, to be honest. Your little Pinay, haha. Did I tip the right guy? You think maybe I was too cryptic? Oh, your little Pinay. Yeah, okay. You're welcome, man. I'm here now. We can start. Thanks, Nicholas. Can you share her channel link? I will support her channel. Kudos, Mia. Yeah, sure. Share it. Wait, let me. Is she on here? No, I don't think so. Hold on a second, guys. I'll get it right now. She has a great channel. She does good vlogging. There you go, guys. Forget falling in love with the bar girl. Fall in love with the mama-san. The one who holds the purse, huh? So, forget falling in love with the bar girl. Fall in love with the mama-san. Sorry, I forgot to click on it. Let's see. 79 people watching. Hit the smash button. Yeah, guys, hit the smash button. That helps me out. And if you guys haven't checked out that Your Little Panay channel, it's a good channel. She needs to do something about her audio, if I remember correctly. But besides that, it's a great channel. She needs a new mic, I think. I would like to subscribe to Mia. Go ahead and subscribe, man. When you were in Dumaguete, was the internet as fast, reliable as Cebu? I answered that. Yeah, it's much better here in Cebu. Much more, at least in Newtown, in these condos, it's much more reliable than in Dumaguete. Dumaguete, I had problems with the fiber optic there. Just one problem after the other. So it seems, I don't know why, but in Negros, it seems they have issues with the infrastructure, whether it's water, whether it's electricity, whether it's the roads. There's always seems to be a problem with the infrastructure. Unlike Cebu, just seems just way ahead of Dumaguete and Negros in general. Thailand is shut in some provinces, mainly Bangkok area. Alcohol sales for dine-in is banned nationwide. In our area of Rayong, we have very few restrictions and dine-in is open. So there you go. So they're open in Thailand except for the few areas. I guess kind of like Manila here in a way. Scott, have you ever looked at new car prices in the Philippines and compared to the US prices? Not really, because I don't plan on buying a car anytime soon. So I've seen them at the malls, but they're typically not the models that I saw in the US. So I can't really compare that. But I've seen cars here for about $15,000 new and up. So, you know. If you don't give money to help her family and you don't plan on getting married or having children, what do you have to do to convince her that you love her? Well, I think your actions speak high. I mean, I don't know. I just not into this kind of relationship when it becomes about money. If the relationship becomes about money, I don't want that relationship. So it's going to be the interaction between you and her. You know, you guys are having fun. You guys are going places. You guys are doing stuff. Look, the way I look at it is the problems that were there before you came there are not really yours to solve. You didn't create those problems. They're not yours to solve. If you decide you want to solve them, that's great for you. But I don't think as an obligation, just because you're dating a girl, that you solve her family problems. I just don't see that. And if she doesn't want to be with you because you're not giving money to the family and you're not helping them out, well, then she's not in it for you. She's in it for the money. And do you really want to be with that girl if that's what she is? I certainly don't, but maybe some people do. I don't know, but I don't. What is Mia's channel link? I can put that in there also. Filipina Life with Mia is her channel. Now Mia is bigger than me. She's gone past me. So let's see here. This is Mia's channel. So I put that in there. New subscribers to Your Little Panay, 634 subscribers. Let's get over the 1K sub. Yeah, she deserves it, really. She has a good channel, like I was saying, and she's not jumping around in a bikini showing off her, you know what. So she has a great channel, great content. Does Cebu have the least amount of brownouts? That's what I hear. I can only compare it to Dumaguete, and Dumaguete was horrible. I mean, let me put it this way. If you're planning to have a business that's online and you have to communicate with people live, that's not the place I would want to have a business, is in Dumaguete. Like I said, I've been here for a month and a half, going 2 months, and not one brownout, not once, scheduled or unscheduled, plus backup generator. So the electricity, the grid seems to be much more reliable here. So there's that, plus the internet's much better. So if I was going to do anything online, business-wise, I would certainly be here over Duma. I think a Filipino GF should at least work part-time, need my space. You know, that's a bit off topic, but it's a good topic though. It's you know, in the West, typically when you have a living girlfriend, both people work, or at least one person works. So one person is gone the majority of the time. So the amount of time you're together is a lot less than here. So I think that can be an issue here because you're together all the time, because you're probably retired, and if she isn't working, then you're going to be together. So there has to be, you have to find a way to find space, where each person can have a bit time for themselves. But I've heard also the opposite. I know people who don't want that. They want to be with their partner all the time, both guy and woman. So, to each his own, I think. Me, I need some space alone sometimes. Mia knows this, so that's great that she knows it, and she respects that. What's the beach like beside your condo? Why are you not showing it us yet? It's a nice beach. I didn't do a vlog on it because Gio did a vlog on it, so I just don't want to repeat whatever Gio's doing. So he's got a vlog on it. I can put a link to it later after we're done here. But it's a nice beach. Yeah, we went swimming 2 days ago. Yeah, we went swimming 2 days ago. Mia, was Mia's first time on the beach. What did you think, Mia, of the beach?
I love it.
She says she loves it. It's clean. It's got sand, and it's got restaurant there and a bar. So you got everything there. So thanks, Paul. Are there any nice bigger beaches on Mactan? The one you showed in your video looked super small. Yes, there are more beaches. We were at one called Ibiza, but that's a private beach. There are a few private beach and few official beaches, but nothing really like they have in Bohol and Panglao. So yeah, but it's good enough for me. So I don't need anything bigger personally. But yeah, it's not really like the beaches you see on in some places like in Palawan or Panglao or and some other places in Bohol. Or even in Dumaguete, they have some nice, not Dumaguete, but in Negros, they have some nice beaches there. But it's so close. It's like 5 to 8 minutes walking from my condo to the beach. So there's that. That's somebody else. Secret. Mia has more subs. Lol. Could be could it be since she is cuter? Could be. Yeah. She's a young female. They always get the no, but seriously, she has good content, really good content. If you guys check her out, she has some really good content, and she uses a lot of time on her videos. So she deserves it. And her channel, it's not only bigger than mine, it's increasing faster. So she's gonna reach 10K probably. What you at today? 8.7. So 8,700. So she's only 1,300 away from 10K. So I helped my GF almost a year, but it was never enough for her. Yeah, if you get one of those, man, it's no. If you're with a girl and you help her out and they don't appreciate it, instead they look at you and they want more, time to move on. There's a what?
Time to say bye.
Time to say bye, says Mia. There's so many beautiful women here and so many good girls here that you don't have to put up with that BS, If you're with a girl and she's not appreciating what you're doing for her, like I said, move on. Are Filipinas from Cebu more westernized than girls from Davao City? I don't know, since I haven't dated any girls from Davao City, so I can't really say. But I think you get here in Cebu, you have an influx of girls coming from the province to work anyway. So if you really want to meet some girl that is not become city-wise or westernized, whatever, I think it's easy because they're constantly coming in. So you can catch one that's just moved, that hasn't had the so-called bad influences from the city. So it's that I don't think there's a problem. Whatever type of girl you want to meet, I think you can meet in Cebu, and I'm sure it's the same in Davao. From what I hear, And I haven't been there, but from what I hear, Davao is one of the best places in Cebu for dating. That's what I've heard from several people. Like I said, I've never been there, so I can't confirm or deny that, but that's what I've heard, so from several people. So yeah, you need good content to grow. Just jumping around does not cut it. That's really, really true. I watch some of those channels that have people jumping around, and they get a lot of hits in the beginning. It's a lot of eyes, because she might be cute, she might be young, she might have a nice body, and you get it in the beginning, but people get tired of it and they just stop watching. So they might have a lot of subs, but hardly any views. So you got to have good content. Yep. And it's easier if the girl's cute with good content to really grow fast, right? Thanks. Do you have a modem in your place to hardwire your computer, or just Wi-Fi? Yes, I do have a modem. I haven't hardwired it because the Wi-Fi is so good and it's so close to the router. I've never had an issue. So, but I could hardwire it if I wanted to, but I have not. It's only about, let's see, 3.5 meters away from my laptop. So yeah, it's over there. You guys can see it. You can see the router, that white thing there, that's the router. So yeah. A 2 at 10 is 10 at 2. A 2 at 10 is a 10 at 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, with some alcohol. I think that's what you mean, right, Nicholas? I keep picturing you in Star Trek suit. Beam me up, Scotty. Too many Philippine chats are starting to saturate YouTube Marketplace. Too many Philippine chats are starting to saturate YouTube Marketplace. Most likely be a 50 to 70 drop off when everything opens up. Major revenue drops coming for many. Yeah, I think so. And one of the things I've said, and a lot of YouTubers have said, don't make YouTube don't plan on making YouTube like your main income. If your budget is $2,000 a month, have $2,000 a month. If you're on YouTube making some extra, look at it as like pocket money, man. Just something extra that you can have fun with, basically. Not that that's your main income, because YouTube is so unreliable, and you could have a great month one month and the next month it goes down. And for example, I made a video about a friend of mine building a house, and I thought like that video would never really be a big hit, and now it's at 300,000 views already. So you can never really know how your channel is going to grow, if it's going to grow. I mean, look at Filipina P. She took off like that. I watched her stuff and never thought it would grow like that as fast as she did. So it's unreliable and unpredictable. So YouTube is not something to base your income on, that's for sure. But there are other ways of making money online, like teaching. But again, I would have my economy in order before I came here, for sure. Mia is a young class act. Okay, thank you for that. How is the internet compared to Dumaguete? Your stream is very crisp and clear. It's like I've said, it's fantastic. I watch 4K at night on Netflix, and on my new TV, I've got a 4K TV, a new one, Android. It actually shows you the download speed, and it's 15 mbps constant for the 4K. So it's great. I love it. Anything we do here is super fast. Plus, we have a new service provider here in Cebu City called Dito, DITO, and it's 200 pesos or $4 for 1 month, 25 gigs. The first month is unlimited. After that is 25 gigs. So if ever I needed fast, I've measured the speed here at the condo with Dito, and it's about 20 mbps. download. So even if my internet would go out, which it hasn't so far in a month and a half, but if it did go out, I could always use my my phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So, babe, could you heat this up? I just live south of Oregon sand dunes between Post Bay and Winter Bay. Get lots of fine dust blowing in my house all the time. It's a pain to clean that stuff. Yeah, if you live right by the beach, which I have previously in my life, yeah, it can be a pain. The sand coming in constantly. So I know some people like this to live right by the beach, and I can see it. A friend of mine actually lives in Darwin, right by the beach, but not on the beach. He's probably 10 to 15 meters back. So there's grass and then there's beach. They see his house, grass, and then beach. And that was perfect to me. I mean, listening to the waves and coming in and all that at night, that must be awesome. Waking up, having a coffee and looking at the sea must be awesome. But to me, actually, after living in Dumaguete and going up to Valencia and walking in Valencia, I'd rather live up in the mountain where the air is cooler and you have the trees and all that. To me, that was more charming than the beach. But they're both really, really nice. So why not do both? I mean, if you live here, like I said before, don't settle anywhere. Just move a few months here, a few months there till you decide what you want to do. Hello, Paul from Yorktown, Virginia. Great seeing you and hearing you. Thank you. Thank you, David. How much in savings should one have? Well, that's a good question, SC. It really depends on your monthly income. If you have a monthly income or if you don't have a monthly income. So if you have all you have is savings, you have retirement calculators that can calculate how much you can take out every month without touching the principal, and also how much you can take out every month for the next X amount of years. So like I have Personal Capital and Fidelity, and they both have a retirement calculator. I like the one with Personal Capital. It's very simple to use and very easy to set up. And there I can see like, okay, I can take out X amount of dollars and my retirement's still growing, or I can take out X amount, or I can see, okay, I'm going to live to, let's say, 95. And then it tells me, okay, from now to 95, you can withdraw X amount of dollars. And then about 95, it gets to zero. So you have all these retirement calculators everywhere, some better than others, but you have them out there. So that would be something I would use if you're wondering about that, because again, it depends on how much you have in Social Security and so on. But if you're just talking about reserve, I would have at least 25,000 reserve. If you have, let's say your monthly budget is $1,500 and you're getting that every month from, let's say, retirement or whatever, I would have at least a $25,000 reserve in case something happens. You have to go home or you have to go to the hospital real quick or something. Jenny de Morena, ciao, Paul. I'm looking forward to fly to Cebu today. And if lucky, I'm out to Singapore, which start again the circuit breaker. COVID suck. Economy is in trouble again. So you're going to Singapore today? Oh, wow. Well, congrats. I guess is that a job? Yeah, the economy is bad in the doldrums, and I've said it before, this place needs to open up because there's a lot of pain here in the Philippines. Do they sell watermelons in the Philippines? Yes, they do. I don't believe I've seen any. Oh, there's plenty of watermelons here. Nothing is better to cool down than a nice watermelon. Yeah, and they have also watermelon shakes, and those are really great too. No, they have watermelons here, plenty of watermelons. Are there light-skinned penays there? Yes, there's all kinds of penays. There's even white penays that look shaped.
Penays, it's penay.
Penay. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. It's in the morning, babe. I haven't even finished my first cup of coffee. I want to meet a Penai with a Jewish deli. I miss pastrami. Yeah, that's the nice thing in Cebu. They have also all kinds of food here. So, but actually, Duma was not bad for food because you had Belkris in Dumaguete, and they had all kinds of deli stuff there and meats, and it's Belkris. If you live in Dumaguete and you haven't been to Belkris or live in and around Dumaguete, you need to go to Belkris. That place has lots of good stuff, plus at very reasonable prices compared to other places. Moldova has the culture like the 1940s and 50s, also living cheaper than the Philippines, 700 a month. But you also cannot bring them to the West, close to Russia, though. Oh, okay. Moldova. I'll have to look that up. That's from Scott. How about internet over there, Scott? Is that good internet and good food and the other parts of life, nature, beaches? I'll make sure China boats move away before I get there. I have connections. Yes, please do. I think they're mostly gone for now, anyway. David says, I see Mia channel is leaving you in the dirt. Yes, she is. Paul, still congrats to you on her number of subscribers. I'm sure you are proud of her. Yes, I am. She has done a great job. As if you've watched her channel, you've seen her do a great job. And like I said, she puts a lot of time and effort in it. I've seen other channels, Filipinas, and not that there are some great channels like Filipina P and your little Pinay, and they put time in Pinay. They put time in and effort into it, but I've seen a lot of channels that just don't put any time or effort into it. They just, like I said, jump around and they talk about stuff that they have no clue about, and you ask them a question, they have no clue, and so on. So it's just, she puts a lot of time and effort into it, and I think channels that do that, especially cute Filipinas, they tend to grow a lot. So it's hard to compete against that. If you're a healthy 70-year-old, can you have a healthy relationship without getting married and travel? Yes, you can. I know several people in Duma that are over 70 that have a relationship with a girl and travel. So that's not an issue. But just be aware that healthcare in the Philippines is nothing like the West. So if something does happen bad, you probably won't leave this place breathing. But so, yeah, the only really good two places that I know of for healthcare are Cebu and Manila. So, but who wants to live forever anyway, right? Mia says I do. That's a song from Queen. Does your unit have washer and dryer? If so, how well does it work? Yes, it's actually a washer and dryer in one. So in the US how we have a washer and then a dryer, it's actually a washer and dryer in one unit. So it washes and dries. It works really well. Yeah, babe.
Yes.
So we thought when I moved in and I showed her that when we were having a talk online, she said, well, we probably won't use it. And I said, yeah, we probably won't. We'll just send it out and get it done. But we end up using it all the time because it's so convenient. We just put it in and it spins and does its thing. And a few hours later, it's done, so it's, yeah. I lost my place here. Today's topic was budget, but as always, it goes off topic. Whatever people want to talk about is fine. Variable says YouTube can't be trusted. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like a full-time job with a certain income coming in every month. So it's that.
Some other people make it as a type of
Yeah,
job,
but you
like
shouldn't really, because it's so unreliable. You might be a hit for 6 months and then it might go away, and I just wouldn't rely on YouTube as an income. I don't think YouTube will drop off as much as some people think. Many of these guys will never actually come to the Philippines and are satisfied living vicariously through YouTube. Actually, that's a really good point, Scott. Some people just don't have the I don't know what it is, but some people just don't travel. They just don't want to travel. They feel safe at home, so they stay at home. They don't want to go to a new place. They want to, but they'd rather just feel safe in their home, and then they live through you in a way. So there's that. I mean, and then some people are working. I remember, I mean, I used to work as an engineer, and I could only go to the Philippines. I had 3 weeks vacation, so I could only go once a week. I mean, sorry, once a year. And so I watched a lot of YouTube channels about the Philippines because I lived through them. I was like, one day that will be me. One day that will be me living over there. you know. So some people work. If you're in your 30s and 40s, and some people in their 50s, depending on your savings, you got to work. I mean, you can't just take off. I mean, you got to have some type of revenue. So, and it's better to work a few extra years and have a good revenue when you're retired than retiring too early and not having a good revenue and living, month to month and barely making it. David says, well stated, relying on YouTube as steady income is bad. They are demonetizing channels all the time and will probably start taking a bigger cut of the income. Yeah, they might do that. The problem with YouTube, I mean, I love YouTube, don't get me wrong, but the problem with YouTube is they don't really have any competition. Now there are others that do a YouTube type of thing, but there's really no competitor to YouTube, and I wish there was. Because if there was, they would have to compete with the content creators as well, right? To try to keep the good content creators by increasing the revenue to them. But basically, YouTube can do whatever they want, and people will still use them unless something new comes along. As Scott says, you're running a dual band router with those speeds, good. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's dual band or not, but Filipina Pete's channel blew up because she drops little Easter eggs of the 80s on her channel. Yeah, maybe. That's and she has if she writes her script, whoever writes her script, they have a good sense of humor too. It's kind of a dry humor, and I like it. But I like Mia's channel better. So there are multiple ways of making money online. Yes, there are. So you just have to find whatever suits you and start making money online. But it's harder. I mean, it's easier to make money in the US than it is to make money online, because online you have competition with the whole world. So Jay says, I don't understand the growth of P. Sounds like a Western woman speaking through a Filipina. I disagree. I can find her content a bit dry sometimes, but in general, I find her content pretty good. And the reason I say that is that she provides good information and she has a sense of humor. So I think her channel is great. I mean, if I was going to rate her channel from 1 to 10, I'd, for the Filipino content type of channel, I'd rate it probably at an 8 or a 9. And Mia is at a 10.
don't BS me.
How are the city buses there? It's funny that you asked that question. We just took some buses from Newtown to SM City, and I'm making a vlog about that. That should be out probably next week sometime. So that's coming on one of my vlogs, how long it took, the cost and everything. So that keep an eye out on that. But I'll just tell you right now, it costs less than $2 to go from here to SM City, and it took about an hour. Typically on the scooter, it takes about 30 minutes, babe? On the scooter
On
to
the
SM
scooter,
City,
yeah, 30
40,
30
35.
minutes. Exactly 30, because it's like 27, 28. depending on how fast you drive.
30 minutes exactly. Okay, so it's about half the time, but if you really wanted to take the bus, it wasn't an issue. So, but you'll see that on the video. If I was to profile P, I would guess she places 2 sheets side by side and pre-plans the content, her content on the one page, how the West, how the Philippines, and creates relationship connections and works a plan from that. Okay, I don't know how she does it. I've heard that her boyfriend writes the scripts, but I don't know. Then I've also heard her say that she doesn't have a boyfriend, or somebody told me that. So I really don't know if she does her own scripts or somebody else does her script. But yeah. But again, I think it's a good channel. I don't want to. I mean, there's so many bad channels out there. To see a good Filipina channel it's nice. You know, you have Mia's channel, which is great. You have Filipina P channel, which is great. Your Little Pinay, I've watched her. She has also Pinay. She also has a good channel. There's a bit of room for improvement on Your Little Pinay, but she's getting there, and she's putting effort and time into it. So I think it'll grow. Like I said, she just needs better sound. But so yeah, it's there's a few good channels, Pinay channels out there. I'm flying to Cebu from Singapore. Oh, really? Okay. That's awesome. Are you staying in Cebu too? Or are you flying home, or what are you doing? P has been in the UK and worked in a call center. Yeah, I can tell she's worked in a call center because her English is really good. So yes, that is correct. P would have learned some modern organization and time management, and that is rare in the Philippines. Yes, time management is that's a vlog I should do. Time management over here. Yeah, I mean, but that's part of the charm over here. Okay, they don't really have time management over here. If you say 1 o'clock and you show up at 1 o'clock, there's probably no one there, or they're sitting around on their phones and surprised that you showed up at 1 o'clock. So it's kind of that Southern Spanish type of culture. Mañana, we'll take care of it tomorrow type of deal. But that's part of the charm here. It's very relaxed. There's no that go, 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 go like it is in the West, which is, different and sometimes can be irritating. But in general, I think it's for us that are retired might be a good thing in the end, because it's more of a relaxed atmosphere. John says, Filipina P is as sharp as a razor and puts out nonstop quality content. Yeah, I wouldn't say nonstop. I would say mostly very good content. Some of the stuff I've seen was a bit dry in my opinion, but like I said, I rate her at an 8 or a 9 out of 10. So it's really good content, yes. Landlocked. Okay. Good morning, Paul and Mia from Alabama. Good morning, Roger. How are you doing? From Mr. Boto, good laid back chat today. Thank you, Mr. Boto. Thank you for the contribution. Let's see. Scott asks, how are the city buses there? Seems like it could be a cheap option if it's too rainy to ride a bike. Yes, I've actually, like I said, we've just took the bus. Was it yesterday or the day before?
The day before.
The day before, and so we're making a video on that. There'll be a video coming out next week. But basically, from Newtown to SM City, it cost $2. Scott says, if I was to profile P, I would guess she places. Oh yeah, I read that already. Sorry guys, I lost my track here. Let's see. She's a lot easier on the eye. Just kidding, buddy. Are you talking about Mia? Yeah, she is. I was planning a motorcycle trip across Asia next winter, hopefully starting in Singapore. Oh, that sounds awesome, man. That sounds really good. But one of the issues because I was thinking about that too, and I think it's very hard to take your motorbike from one country to another, unlike, in Europe. So that might be an issue, unless you're just planning to rent like a scooter or something. I'm not sure how you're going to do that. But Malaysia and Thailand have good healthcare. Yes, Malaysia especially has really, really good healthcare. I'm actually planning to go spend a few months in Malaysia once this place opens up. I should say we are planning. Hi there. 750 per month will be enough to live in Cebu? No, it won't. What area in Cebu do you recommend for a person who wants to enjoy the beach, nightlife, and dating in Cebu? Thanks. Oh, you're talking about Cebu Island, not Cebu City. Okay. Well, when things open up, if you want beach and partying and all that, then Mobile probably is the place to be. They have bars, they have restaurants, they have nice beaches. But 750, that's cutting it short, man. Yeah, I would say I wouldn't do anything less than 1,500 in the Philippines in general, but probably Mobile, maybe get away with 1,200. But that's cutting it. Yeah, 750 is really cutting it. Davao is supposed to have a good 911 service. No idea how good it is. I don't know. I just know in general here the ambulances are not like if something happens and you call an ambulance, it's not like 5 minutes later they're there. If you're worried about healthcare, you shouldn't be in the Philippines, man. That's basically it. Richard says, I agree. Mia channel is good. A couple of other Filipino channels are really, really bad. There are plenty of bad Filipino channels, man. Really, really bad ones. But, people watch them, so they must see something in it. P's English is exceptional. Huge vocabulary, coupled with a wicked quick wit. Her content is completely unique. For instance, actual interviews with health insurance pros, info needed by potential expats. Yeah, exactly. She did interview with a lawyer also. That I watched that video some time ago, and that was a good interview with a lot of information. So she has the advantage that she speaks Tagalog and Cebuano, and I think she speaks another language, some Filipino language, a third one. So she has that advantage. So, and her English is good. So yeah, she has good content. Moldova 20-year age gap is okay. After that, they start looking at you. Okay. Okay, you said you need 25,000 saving and 1,500 per month in spending money, but how much do you think you need as a startup money? Startup money. Oh, meaning like the initial amount of money for your condo, for the deposit. Oh, let me think here. Oh, you need a deposit. You need, I don't know. Never really thought about that. Maybe a couple of thousand. That's really all you need. Deposit for your condo, to buy some pots and pans, maybe some sheets, towels, and so on. A maximum a couple of $1,000s. Scott says, me looking 10 plus years younger may be a benefit. I'm 54 now. I might be okay with a 28 to 30-year-old without many looking. But if I look my age, 35, they would start looking at me. Okay. How much would it cost for a 1 month rental on a condo like yours? I guess it will go up post-pandemic. Well, they told me, and this is what they told me, I think 30 to 35 for these units, pre-pandemic or post-pandemic, I guess it'll be. But even when things open up, it's not gonna like skyrocket because it's gonna be a soft open. They can't just open everything up and everybody comes back in because a lot of the places are closed. So they can't, they just don't have the capacity to bring in that many people as they had before. So it's going to be a soft open. So the prices will slowly go up again. But again, if the world opens up, I'm probably headed to Malaysia for a few months, and then maybe Vietnam, and then maybe Thailand, and then back to the Philippines. So there are, but they're mainstream. Okay. If you have an online business, do you have to pay tax to the Philippines? As far as I know, no. I think you tax in the US. Like YouTube, for me, I'm taxing in the US. So not that I make a lot of money on this, but yeah, if you have an online business, I think you'd be taxed in the US. For YouTube, I know it's you pay taxes in the US because I'm registered in the US. So, but I'm not a financial guru, so I don't know. I'm really not sure about that. I would have to Google that, and you'd have to do your due diligence if you're going to do some type of online. I think like teaching online and all that, I think all that is taxed in the US. So for the most part, I think if you're American, you're taxing in the US. Air-conditioned buses, the ones we were in, no. But they do have air-conditioned buses here, but they're typically going long distances, not the short type of buses that go from, let's say, from Newtown down to Mandawi or something like that. Typically not air conditioned. But if it's a rainy day and cloudy, it's not going to be too hot anyway. Jack says, I think, Paul, you're out of touch with the job possibilities to make a good living in the US versus the cost of living there anymore. The cost of living is becoming outrageous in the US. Okay. Well, I lived in the US and I left 2018. Has it changed that much? I don't know. Well, it also depends. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an engineer anymore since I don't work. I was an engineer in the oil industry. So I think it depends on type of job, obviously. And there's also, people in the US want to, like me, I give you an example. Like I was working in the oil industry. I was division engineer at the time and I made okay money. And I had a house after my divorce. I got the house and because of the prenup and everything, but my house was 3,000 square feet and I rented out the rooms in the house so I could get even more income to save even more because I knew I had a long-term plan to retire here in the Philippines. So there's ways of cutting down the cost, even if you're living in the US, to be able to save. See, I lost my place here. Filipino P made the template. Others will try to follow. Yeah, true. I live at Lapu-Lapu and stay for a couple of months, then fly to Europe. Oh, okay. Well, then me and Mia would love to meet you. Mia and I always say me and Mia, and Mia always corrects me. Mia and I. I'll keep saying me and Mia. So if you would just send me an email with your contact number, Jenny, after the live cast, and we can meet up. Scott says, yes, they do. And yes, they do. And the winner when you see the person commented on many other channels. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I see a lot of comments about Filipino P. Just got home from a motorcycle trip to Baya, TJ, San Quentin, San Felipe. TJ was awesome. Looking forward to your bike videos. Yeah, I just, if you guys didn't see that, I just got my helmet, intercom all set up and the video and everything. So we'll be doing some trips very soon, probably next week. I can't use my Ninja right now because there's some issues with it. I mean, I can drive it short distances, but I won't take it on any trips till I get those issues figured out and fixed. So the last guy quoted me 30,000 pesos, $600. So I'm trying to find another place which can maybe quote me a bit less, but we'll see. If I had to rate the best intro, I would put it to Chrissy for 10-15 seconds into showing the values of the Phil's family, etc. Who's Chrissy? Is that a YouTube channel? Corpseman says, howdy from Puget Sound. Howdy, Corpseman. Thank you for the contribution. Go more hike. Hey. How you doing? I'm doing great. How are you doing? I was planning to ship my BMW out there from UK. Will take it across the border be a problem? I wouldn't be shipping any cars over here. First of all, in the UK, they drive on the other side of the road than they do here, right? So the steering wheel is on the wrong side first to start off with, or maybe not the wrong side, but the other side. So I wouldn't ship, and also you have to pay a lot of taxes over here when you ship something. So I've heard people who have done it say it's not worth it. So I would just sell it in the UK and then buy something when you get here. And depending on where you live, I think a BMW over here is overkill. I heard that rumored that Malaysia just kicked out 30,000 expat a few weeks ago. Well, yeah, I read about that, but really I think their visas had expired and they just refused to renew them. Kind of like I do here. I renew my visa every 2 months. And at some point, Malaysia said, no, we're not doing it anymore. So the people with the long-term visa, they got to stay, but the people with the short-term, weren't able to renew, so they had to leave. Yes. So what's the secret to a successful relationship in the Philippines? I mean, every relationship is different and every woman is different, but in general, for me at least, I try to keep the frame of the relationship. I try to set the tone of the relationship. I try to make the relationship fun. So with me, I'm always joking and kidding. And then, of course, you have to do things together. You have to go places, create memories. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just going down to the beach and having fun, or going to a restaurant, going to a movie, just doing things together, and communication. I mean, it's just like the West. It's just easier here, and they're more fun to hang around with than girls in the West, I have found anyway, in my opinion. So there's really no secret to it, but there is one way you can make a relationship not work here, and that is to act like a girl. Don't be like a female man. Be a man. Right, Mia? I've seen that over here. Guys that are
Acting like a girl.
Yeah, they act like a girl. They act weak, and they let the girl decide everything. And it's like, you just don't want to be that person, because they'll run over you. That could be matched by Mia adding to her intro when she convinces Paul to travel and maybe show the cultures and values that exist to compete with that intro. What intro are you talking about, Scott? I'm not sure I understand your comment here. That could be matched by Mia's adding to her intro when she convinces Paul to travel and maybe she show the cultures and values that exist to compete with that intro. Okay. Are you talking about Filipina P's intro or somebody else's intro? I'm not quite sure there. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with watching a woman swimming, but more flash could be added to it. Steal ideas from multi-million tourist marketing ads. Oh, okay. I get you now. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I need to change my intro too, so we both need to work on the intro. Is $1,500 a rich person's budget? In the Philippines, if you're living off $1,500, you wouldn't be considered rich. You'd be considered upper middle class, I would say, but not rich, no. Roy John says, guys aren't looking for content. They're looking to be content. Yeah, I think both. I think that's why Filipina P does good, because she has both. What is the biggest way to get some barriers between your wallet and your girlfriend's family? They can be a huge drain on resources. Barriers are hard to enforce here because of the cultures. Yours is theirs. Well, I don't think it's that hard to enforce. I think you have to set the rules of the relationship right from the beginning. So, for example, me, when I start a relationship, right at the beginning, I mean, within weeks, I tell the girl, if this relationship becomes about money, this relationship is over, you know? And I'll tell her right up front, your family's problems are not my problems. Don't bring them into this relationship. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know about it. So it might sound harsh, but you need to set that frame. You need to set your rules, how you want the relationship. You don't have to put up with anything you don't want. If you don't want that, don't put up with it. And if you start putting up with it, it's like death by 1,000 concessions, man. It's like, you know, a girl typically will push the limit just a bit and you'll accept it. Then she'll push it a bit more and you'll accept it. And then she'll push it, not all, not Mia, but some girls, you know, and they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And in the end, you look back and you're like, why did I accept all this? Because it's just small concessions. So you have to set the frame, and you have to always maintain that frame. You always have to, I mean, it sounds like you're on hard ass, but you got to be sometimes. You have to be. You have to set what you want in the relationship. Now, as long as you're being honest and you've told her up front, this is what you'll put up with, and you won't put up with this, A, B, and C, and she can tell you the same. She says, you know, I won't put up if you do A, B, and C, or Z, Y, and X, or whatever. And you both have to come to that some type of agreement. And she might say, no, if you're going to be with me, you have to support my family. And at that point, you have to make a decision whether you want to be with her based on that or not. Me, I don't. Because if you're telling me you're only going to be with me if I give your family money, that means it's not about me anymore. It's about her family and her. So I don't want to be in that relationship. Now, like, I have been in relationships where I've said that and afterwards helped family members, but that's without them even asking, because I saw a need. I saw some way I can improve their life for the better. So but that is your call at that point. Mr. Ron, good morning, Mr. Ron. How are you? There are the bikini Filipino vloggers, a lot of body and little content. Yeah, well, yes. But they have a lot of subs. I've seen I've seen a lot of weird stuff on those channels. Watch me make dinner in a bikini. Just say no, B61. Okay. Should I buy a condo or invest in the Philippines? Absolutely not, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. Because I've seen this, and it doesn't apply everywhere, but a lot of times when they build the condo units here, it looks fantastic. I mean, great. And then 5 years, 10 years down the line, everything's fallen apart, and it looks decrepit. You know, it's like all the money you're paying to HOA, I'm not sure where it's going, but it sure is not going into the upkeep. So you gotta look and see. If I was going to buy a condo here, if I was, and I'm not going to, but if I was, it would be under the condition that that condo is at least 5 years old and everything's still in order. You know, that the money is actually being used, the HOA fees are actually being used for upkeep and not going in somebody's pocket. Now, there is one way I would buy a condo here, and it's in the pandemic. This hasn't happened yet, but if there's like a total crash of condo units, like this condo I'm living in, I think the realtor said they went for 5 or 6 million pesos, about $100,000 to $120,000. If the whole condo units, like the pricing crashed and this went down to 3 million, 3.5 million, I would consider buying, yes, because I'd look at that. At that point, I'd look at it as an investment. You just have to wait a certain amount of time before doubles in value, so to say. So, but otherwise, I would just rent, because renting, and take that money and put it in REITs as an example, or stock, because renting, you have the advantage that you can move. If you buy, like if I bought a condo here and then had a guy on top of me or on the side playing high music all the time, or they had a dog upstairs barking all the time and security didn't do anything about it, you're stuck. However, if you're renting, you're not stuck. You can just decide to go ahead and leave and just lose your deposit. So, to me, renting is a much, much better alternative. I understand the need to have something that you can call your own, but I don't know. I'd be very, very careful to buy something here. And at the prices today, I would not, but to each his own. Roy, I agree. Does Mia miss Dumaguete? I don't think she misses the city, but she misses her family a lot, and she's talking to them every day. She just mentioned the other day that her sister has a birthday and she'd like to go home, so I don't know. She's not listening. She's got music playing in her ears. You're the chosen one. Take control of it. Okay. Prenup is very smart. Yes. Guys who watch this channel know I don't agree. I don't think marriage is necessarily a good thing. So, but if you are going to get married, get a prenup for sure, and a postnup, and make sure it's done the right way. Contact a lawyer and make sure it's done the right way. So if things go haywire and you decide to leave, or she decides to leave, you don't lose half your hard-earned income. How much is the max amount on cash you can bring into the Philippines? And is it advisable to bring as much as possible? No, it's not. I would just bring your debit card out. I would bring probably, say maybe $500 to $1,000 max. I think you're allowed up to $1,000. But $500, I wouldn't bring more than 500. And I mean, when I came, I think I had with me $100, $200, and then I had my 2 ATM cards and 2 credit cards, and I put them in different places. So if ever I should lose one, I have another one. So I always have a backup. But there's ATMs everywhere. There's Remitly. I mean, there's so many ways of getting money now. It's not the way it was 20 years ago. If you have an American Social Security number and you work anywhere in the world, the American government wants tax money. True. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I have a Social Security number, and hopefully one day I'll get Social Security. I paid a lot of money into Social Security, so I'm hoping I'll get some of it back. Can I live pretty well there with 3? Oh my God, yeah. You can live like a king, man. I mean, I live probably on, I'm doing budget these months for Cebu. I haven't done so far, but I probably live on close to $2,000 now with Mia here and different, restaurants and doing traveling and all that. Probably close to $2,000 a month. It was about $1,600. I'm guessing it's increased to close to $2,000. And so $3,500. I mean, I live well on 2,000. So 3,500. Yeah, you'd be set, really well set. Hell, you could have one condo here and one in Davao and many different places. Good morning. Paul says, Carrie. Good morning, Carrie. Go more hike. Jack, yeah, buddy. Stans Hasselback said, Mia said in her video that you met her family. Do you mind discussing that? What was that like? I mean, it was fine. I mean, we met, and it's just like meeting any other family. Her family is actually kind of fun. Her brothers and sisters, they're similar to her in many ways. They joke a lot. I mean, they're always joking and laughing. So it's a nice environment to be in. But it was easy. I mean, meeting families here is not hard. I mean, they're always so welcoming, and it's not like you're getting the 3rd degree type of questioning kind of deal. So at least not in my experience. And So I found it very, very easy, nice. But it's not something I recommend you do if you're not being serious about that woman. I mean, because it's kind of a slap in the face for a girl here. Like if you are dating her, go see her family. And let's say you're dating for 3 months, then go see her family. And then you break up 2 months later. It's like, it's not a good thing because it's awkward for her because she's introduced her to your family. It doesn't mean you can't break up with the girl, but I'm just saying if you're planning on leaving, it's something I wouldn't do, or if you're not sure about the girl, just say, no, I don't want to see your family. I'm not quite ready for that. So just because if a girl's introducing you to her family, it means she has serious intentions, typically. Not sure I ever saw this question before, but do you have renter's insurance, or is this covered as part of your rent payment? I have no renter's insurance. I've never had renter's insurance here. And it's just, especially in this condo, you don't really need it. I mean, unless there's a fire, and I really don't have that much left. Most of my stuff is sold off or given away. So my laptops, my TV, and my monitors, I guess, are the most valuable things here. So, I mean, materialistically. But I've never looked into renter's insurance here. Rocco says, me and Mia, or Mia and I. Here's an easy rule we learned in school. The moron goes always first. I'm absolutely not calling Mia. Not ever. Okay. I just think me and Mia sounds better than Mia and I. So I like to say that. Hi, Paul. You're a new subscriber from Senegal. I like your videos. Keep going. Thanks. Ba Khalido Gata. Is that your real name? Maxwell says, if you are retiring and know what area you want to live, then a lot 5K furniture, appliances, and 2K new scooter. Renting furnished apartments is more expensive, and you may not like their furniture. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're going to talk about buying furniture and all that, yes, but I think, I don't know. In my opinion, if you're going to move here, start off as a minimalist at least until you find a place you'd really like, because you might move a place and you think this is it, and then discover a new gem that you really like, and moving is a hassle. So I wouldn't come here with the thought of like settling down straight away. I would rather move around. The Filipina named Crystal. Hello, I'm new in the YouTube channel. Hello, Crystal. Go More Hike. You mentioned a book you read, The Unplugged Alpha by Richard Cooper. Yes, one of my favorite books. What do you feel was the most important advice in that book? Oh, God, I need to make a video on that, man. That's a good question. You caught me off guard there. That book was, and this will sound like a non-answer, but it's more the whole holistic thing of the book, and it's got a lot of good advice in there. And I don't think there's one thing. I know a lot of guys that have read that book really like the chapter on the red flags, but there's so much good advice in that book. I need to make a video on it, and it's been a couple of months since I read that book, so I probably need to reread it again before making that video. But I have other friends that have read it. I would say blue pill type of people that have read it, and they've gotten a lot out of it. They've seen stuff that they haven't seen before. Because a lot of times you see things and you just kind of, like, that's okay. And then you read about it and you realize not just that there's something wrong here, but you also realize the psychology behind it. So there's a lot of good stuff. And also The Rational Male by Rollo Tommaso. It's been a while since I read that too. Those are the two books that I recommend. And I But I'm glad you asked that question because I need to reread that book. And but more, it's not just one part of the book; it's more the holistic part of the book, or the book itself, that brought me a lot of value. And it's not an expensive book; it's like under 10 USD on Kindle. And I don't get any commission from it, by the way. Chrissy K, just the intro rest, I put me to sleep. Oh, Chrissy K, isn't that like the Tim K girlfriend or something? But I'll have Mia look that up before, after the live cast. Cerdino says, Paul, my good friend, how are you holding up? I hope you real estate REITs are enough to live on. Actually, no. My portfolio, I've said it before on live cast, I need to do something about it. I'm about 40% cash, and I need to do more investing. But right now the markets are so crazy, I'm not sure where to go with it, to be honest. This is Corman, a Puget Sound major waterway in Western Washington. Okay. I guess Mia wants the song title changed to Bobby McGee and I. Okay. I also heard to be careful when buying second-hand cars in the Philippines. Yes, absolutely. Not just second-hand cars, second-hand scooters or motorbikes. Many are cars from Japan and are chop jobs with issues, correct? Moving steering linkage and steering wheel. Yep. Just check out Old Dog New Tricks. Yeah. I think he had an issue when he bought a car. So, yeah. I was told this when I came here, don't buy a used scooter when in the Philippines. Rather just buy a new one, because a lot of times they don't change the oil, they don't do anything with it. So you got to be real careful. So, and the scooter is only not $1,500 to $2,000, so it's cheap. It's something you'll have for many, many years. So it's a good investment. Frame, would that be a positive frame of mind that you are in control? A masculine mindset? Yes, absolutely. It's not really about, maybe it is about control, but not really. It's not like controlling the person. It's like setting your agenda, setting where you want to go, being masculine in the relationship, not crying in front of the girl and asking like, oh, where shall we go today, baby? I'm not sure, like that, but being more masculine, more forward. Guys, I'm going to go about 10 more minutes here, and then I'm going to call it quits. Maybe you should check out into Chrissy K and attempt some flashy intro, but to be fair, it turns out she has a cousin in marketing in Manila. I think that made it for her. Okay. Roy Jones, secret is just show up and be yourself and not weak. Yeah, don't be weak. Cost of living in the US has increased, not related to your profession. Inflation is occurring. Yeah, I've heard, I've seen some YouTube videos about hyperinflation. I hope that doesn't hit, because, that will devalue the dollar a lot. Well, it looks like when you've been working out, good to see you're in shape. Yeah, I've been swimming and doing some weights. So thanks for that, Brian. Thanks for noticing. Roy, this is for Roy, Jack. Win Duncan says, I don't find living in the US overly expensive. I live on under $2,000 a month in California. A lot of the expenses in the US are choices, new cars, newest phones, expensive cable, wife, etc. Yeah, that's true. And also you can cut down your expenses. If you really want to save, there are so many ways to cut down your expenses in the US and just save. I mean, if you're in the US working, you should be able to save. You'll have to cut down on your lifestyle, but you could save. Zorbadundi says, good morning, Paul. Hope you and me are well. Shout out from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you, Zombandundi. I looked at shipping my BMW motorbike over to the Philippines, and it was valued at 16,000, and they quoted me 15,000 in import tax. So definitely not worth it. Yeah, exactly. uh, 97 says, with the SSRV retirement visa, you can import 7,000 worth of personal items tax-free, but with shipping costs. Even then, it's not worth it. Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know. And really, like personal items, like I had 3 boxes, 3 balikbayan boxes shipped to me, and with one of it was my stereo and all that, and really never stopped that, so it's not taxed. For me, the SRRV visa is not an option, as I'm not tying up $20,000 in a Philippine bank until I leave. Yeah, exactly. And Filipino banks have gone bankrupt before, so you'd lose that if they did. Hello, Paul. Hi, Mia. So I've been chatting with a Filipina for 2 weeks. We are starting to like one another. She has not asked for anything, just to get to know. She lives in Lapu-Lapu. Okay, good to know. $10,000 is the max you can carry and cash out the U.S. I wouldn't carry $10,000 coming to the Philippines. That's that's an accident waiting to happen, man. Go more hike. In marriage, women have all the advantages and no risk. For men, it's just the opposite. Richard Cooper. Yeah, that is true. It's like I said in my video, it's like buying a stock, right? If you have a possibility of high return and low risk, you buy that stock, right? But if it's low return and high risk, you don't buy that stock. And that's the kind of the way I look at marriage for men and women. So it's high risk, low return for guys, the opposite for women. Hey, Mia and Paul, thanks for the content. Keep it coming. I was living in the Philippines for 3 years, but I came back to Canada for the pandemic. Can't wait to go back. You guys make me feel like I'm like I'm something. Like I'm a little closer to coming back. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, Cliff. Yeah, I have a good friend of mine who used to be my neighbor that's in Canada, in Cornwall, Canada, if you know where that is. He's wanting to come back bad too. I actually need to text him. I haven't talked to him in a while. Prenups are pretty much ignored in Australia. Really? That's bad. Yeah, I heard Australia is pretty bad when it comes to divorces and marriage, and very female-centric type of deal. So that's, oof, no, I wouldn't want to be there. Emmanuel says, hello from Japan. Hello to Emmanuel. So Mia misses her family a lot. Well, Paul, you better get a bigger condo and move them in. Paul jumps off the balcony. Yeah, that ain't happening. What are your thoughts on investing in cryptocurrency? I really don't like to give financial advice, man. But to me, I wish I had invested, but right now I wouldn't. It's just, to me, it's scary. I mean, when you think about it, crypto is really not worth anything. It doesn't produce anything. It doesn't produce any goods. It doesn't produce any services. It's not making any money. It's just valued at whatever people are willing to pay for it. So, and now they're talking about other countries, like Switzerland is talking about it. The US is actually talking about it. China's talking about it, making their own cryptocurrencies. And depending on what type of crypto they do, if they do a limited type of crypto, like Bitcoin, where there's only a certain amount of Bitcoins, right? Then, you have a country backing that up. So I think at that point, the other cryptos might go down in value. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but I would be careful with it. Very careful with it. TikTok. Tourist visa is almost up. Nobody's getting back in. A lot of you expats are going to go AWOL. Well, if mine doesn't mine expires July next year. So if mine expires and they haven't opened up, I'll be headed either back to the US or to Norway. So yeah. Or to Malaysia if that's open, or Vietnam or Thailand if one of those are open. Cliff says, I went on a first date with a Filipina at her family's house in a province. On your first date? Wow. Way too fast. It was a very memorable experience. Wow. That's... I wouldn't have done that. If a girl asked me to come meet my family on the first date, I'd be like, no. But hey, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I wish that's renters insurance, not usually not for your stuff, but to cover negligence on the renters in case of a fire or other damages. Without renters, you will be liable for any negligence. The renters insurance I had in the US was to cover my stuff. So in my house. Patrick says, have you been to Vietnam or Thailand? And if so, did you consider living there? I haven't been to either country. I want to go there. I love the Philippines. I'll probably end up staying here, but I want to try it. Malaysia, I've heard that's a great country. I've also heard Vietnam and Thailand, also good countries. So I want to try them out. I've never been there, so I don't know. Dan is reading Rational Mail now. Good for you, Dan. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Sorry for any comments that I missed, but I need to go somewhere pretty soon. Paul, I detected a slight accent in your voice. Where are you from? Well, Daryl, I'm born in England, lived in England, Norway, also lived 9 years in Egypt and 20 plus years in the US, so my accent is all over the place. Yeah, go Mike. I like Rollo Tomaso, but he can be a bit long-winded. The reason I like the Unplugged Alpha is like straight to the point and an easy read. I think I would start with the Unplugged Alpha. If I hadn't read any of those books, I would start with the Unplugged Alpha and then go over to Rollo Tomaso. Okay. Goga says, Paul, it's good to hear the advice is getting out. I've been passing the word amongst my friends too. Yeah, I think the more we talk about it, the more people start listening and start seeing the world as it is and not how they imagined it is. Sorry, guys, I lost track here. Put in Vanguard, Roth, dividend paying fund, or S&P 500, says Roy, my cash. Yeah, like I said, I need to do some research and decide what to do. The market is so high right now. With my luck, I'd put it in the money and then it would crash. US dollar is on a downtrend expected for the next 6 months unless the Middle East oil gets slowed or South China Sea picks up issues which will drive up the dollar. That's kind of what I've heard also. Filipino peso 6 months, 35 to 36 per US dollar up against the dollar. Oh, no, don't tell me that, man. That would put a lot of Americans here in be an issue, man. Jay says, so I decided to sub to Mia's channel, which is 10 times more original and better than P and others. She kept the roots. Oh, thank you, Jay. She can't hear me because she's got her earphones and listening to music. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. And I see a lot of talk about Bitcoin. Mike says we all have to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Yeah, that's true. And I just want to comment on that. It's like I've heard of people who have married 5, 6, 7 times, and I just can't believe it. Hey, I've married twice, so I've made the same mistake Well, the first time it isn't really a mistake because you're still living in the dream world. And then the second time it is a mistake because you should have snapped out of it. But man, we start third, fourth, fifth, sixth time. Oof. Can you speak with a Texas drawl? Y'all, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
What's up, dude? I don't know if that's Texas. I can't do it. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next one. And I got a video coming out tomorrow, and so watch out for that. Thanks, man. Bye-bye.